As was mentioned, this is an occasion that we wish we wouldn't have to be at, but we are. And we have to talk about Shmuel bar Aboshe, Zichreinu Livracha. As the Rebbe would often say, quote the pasuk from Koheles, where Shlomo HaMelech in his wisdom says, "V'hachai yiten el liboy." And on every occasion such as this, "Hachai yiten el liboy," which has two meanings. One is to learn from the Niftar, to be inspired by him. At the Shloshim, so many beautiful things were said about how endearing Shmuel was to his friends, how they loved him and how he loved them, which I must say also that he happens to have a very special group of Chaverim. And I saw them crying at the Shiva. I know that they were learning the entire Shloshim in South Africa and participated in the Shloshim, and they're all here tonight. We heard how wonderful of a Talmud he was. His mother just told me that he never got anything less than an Aleph in all his years in yeshiva. So I don't want to repeat the beautiful things that were said. I'd like to focus on two additional things that we can learn from Shmuel. One of them actually that I learned from him. The Gemara says that in Baba Basra that kol pruta upruta mitztarefes l'chesh ben godol. If you add a penny to a penny to a penny, you get a big amount. It's quite obvious. The Alter Rebbe in Tanya, in the Geras HaKodesh, and the Tzemach Tzedek explain how doing things step by step, bit by bit, little by little, is not only a way, if you can't get there quickly, you go slowly, but there's a milah. There's an advantage in doing it this way. Firstly, as the Rambam writes, "V'hakol" in Pirkei Avos, "V'hakol l'firei v'maseh," that each action of tzedakah he's talking about brings is mezachech as hanefesh and creates in yourself the midah of giving tzedakah, the midah of nedivus. And the Alter Rebbe adds to that each action is mamshech the kedusha and brings down greater kedusha into this world. That's something that I learned from Shmuel. I used to talk with him often when he was in the 8th grade about projects that he had, both in Ruchnius and in Gashmius, both in learning and his physical being. Losing weight, for example. In each thing, what he did was, he didn't look for the quick fix. It was step by step by step. Kol pruta pruta mitzarefes. I remember talking with him about this many times, and he actually worked. He was a very hard worker. He worked and gained a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, both in Ruchnius and in Gashmius, until he achieved his goals. And that's something that we could all learn from him, especially his chaverim who are yeshiva bachrim. That's the way we learn Torah. That's the way we grow in Torah, by adding little by little by little, amud by amud by amud. A second pirush of Hachayit and Aliboy is that we learn from what happened to appreciate Chaim. We learn from the Nifta to appreciate life. We learn that we need to use the time that Hashem Yisbarach gave us in this world to accomplish. Shmuel had Simchas HaChayim. There was almost always a smile on his face. Almost always you could see that he was happy. He was happy to be doing what he was doing. He was happy to grow in Ruchnius and in Gashmias, as mentioned earlier. We need to learn from him to appreciate Chayim, to use the time that we have, to use the talents that Hashem gave us, to use the abilities that He gave us, and to make the most of it. And then, of course, as the Rebbe said, to create things, for us to remember the Niftar, and for always him to be Chai, for him always to be alive for us. This dedication, which actually I saw this morning already at Shachris, already today at Shachris it inspired me, and it will inspire the Talmidim who daven Shachris here every single morning, and who eat here and bench here, and Farbring here. This is V'hachai. This will keep Shmuel alive in our minds, in memories, and we will continue to learn from him. Thank you.